Is it?
So strange. I feel like I've been like a video game observer, and now I'm like in the video game.
Are we on? Well, you kind of are. I mean, it's weird. It's weird for me. You know?
Yeah, bro. Well, thank you for being like the #1 promoter of my YouTube channel over the past couple weeks, bro.
My pleasure. It's great stuff, man. I watch it all the time. You're really good. You got great shows, man.
I appreciate that.
And I get good guests from your show. Like, there's a couple people that have been on your show that I've had on my show.
Yeah. Chris Dunn was the first dude, I think. And then you recently had Mary Bowden and a few others.
Yeah. Christopher Dunn, man, that was a wild one. And now that they found these structures underneath the pyramid, it's kind of validating a lot of the things these people are saying. You know, there's a lot of controversy about what those structures are and what it means and how accurate the readings are. But they do know that those satellite images were able to show very accurately this one tomb that was 50 feet underground. And it showed the dimensions of this one tomb. So I don't know what the capabilities are, if it really can decipher what's under 2 kilometers of, you know, whatever is underneath Giza. But there's something going on, for sure.
Yeah, I had a dude on my show a couple weeks ago who was explaining how that was a part of some YouTube channel that put something together in Italy, I think it was. And the people that were involved with it were promoting some sort of technology that had something to do with penetrating the ground, some like different kind of LIDAR or something like this.
It's called, what is it called? Something tomography?
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Jamie, see what it's called. But these guys just did another explanation of it, like another deep dive where they did like this presentation and showed it. It's very convincing. Like, there's a lot of people that are 100% on board. I mean, it remains to be seen. It has to be vetted. But according to, you know, some people that I trust that really understand the technology, they said there's absolutely something there. You know, whether or not the problem is they made those 3D detailed images of what it looked like sort of an artist's rendition. And you looked at those, and it's got like the coils and the spirals, and like, yeah,
It looks a little too much.
I don't know what that is. You could see there are coils around those columns, but what are they? Are they stairs? Is it like a coil that generates like an energy coil, like something that conducts electricity or carries electricity? Like, what is it?
It's a solid state electron harvester.
Is that what they said?
That's what Chris Dunn says.
Oh.
I don't know.
Have you talked to him about what's underneath?
Yeah, he thinks that it was. He thinks that the whole thing, his new book, which is called The Tesla Connection, basically explains that it's a. He thinks that there was like a device in the subterranean chamber, like a hammer that hammered the Earth, and then the plane, the Giza plateau, is active, seismically active area, and when it hammers the Earth, it creates mini earthquakes. You're familiar with this, right?
Right.
And it vibrates all the limestone.
All the limestone, and it's got like this hammer, like this effect, like dome, 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 and it creates some sort of a vibration in the granite and the limestone.
Yeah.
Okay. To overcome this, authors analyze micro movements within the pyramid, typically induced by background seismic waves, to achieve high-resolution, full 3D tomographic images of its interior and subsurface. The approach rendered the pyramid transparent, allowing for the reconstruction of internal objects and the discovery of previously unseen structures. So if it's got if it works and shows the actual internal structure of the pyramid accurately, and it can accurately depict that one, the one, was it a temple or what was it that was? I feel like it was a temple. It was 50 feet underground. It had the exact interior dimensions of it.
Yeah.
I mean, there's probably something to it, and we're gonna find out eventually. Hopefully.
You think?
I don't know, man. These guys, like guys like Zawi Hawass and these gatekeepers of this information, they do not want any groundbreaking new discovery to come out. They really don't. Especially something like that. If you really find out there's giant columns underneath the pyramid, and that there's these structures that go down 2 kilometers into the ground, like, all bets are off then. Like, try explaining that away for people that live 2,500 BC. Like, that's kind of kooky.
Yeah, I mean, you know, the mystery of the pyramids and, you know, moving those blocks and building that fucking thing that long ago was crazy on one hand, but then on the other hand, those fucking granite vases that are so precise within like the deviation of a human hair.
Yeah, this is a 3D print of one of them that Christopher Dunn gave me.
Yeah, it's insane. It's insane. They measured these on light scanners at like a huge aerospace corporation somewhere. And they found out like it's so symmetrical. You couldn't make this unless you had a CNC machine.
Right. And then how would you make the handles?
Right, exactly, because it's a part of it.
Right. It's not like you can even turn it on a lathe. Right. And it's accurate. How many thousandths of a human hair?
Yeah, I think it's like 1/1000th of a human hair, like completely undetectable.
Bananas. Yeah. And then there's also some of those sculptures that they made that look like they're 3D printed. I mean, they're incredible. They're perfectly symmetrical on the left side and the right side, and we don't really understand it. And we don't know what technology they were using, what kind of tools they were using. It's hard to know, man. It's hard to know, like, without, when they burned the Library of Alexandria and they destroyed all the records, like, there's so much missing from the history of Egypt and how they did what they did. Just moving the stuff. How did you move it? How did you move those fucking enormous stones? Like, what did you do?
Have you heard of this dude named Jeffrey Drum? He has a channel called The Land of Chem. He lives in Egypt. He lives I think right across the street from the pyramids. And he's basically got this very interesting theory that it was all chemical manufacturing, and the pyramids were chemical manufacturing plants. And I am gonna butcher this description, but I'm gonna do my best. Basically, what he found was that in a bunch of the other pyramids, like the Red Pyramid and some of the other pyramids, he's been in there and gone through them all. And he's basically, what they describe when they go in there is this smell, which some people equate to being like bat shit. But what he thinks is going on is it's creating some sort of like a chemical reaction in those chambers to create fertilizer. Because there's a subterranean chamber below those where they have like all kinds of, they were putting shit in there, like animal shit down there. And then there's also these like ravines, these like cut out channels that come out of the bottom of the pyramid, and there's these bowls that were supposed to collect like chemicals. So he has this really elaborate theory on how, when I heard him tell me this, it made so much sense. But the problem was like, it makes sense, it seems super reasonable, but like, why build these massive structures that are so precise just to make chemicals? And, he was explaining like the agriculture and like why they needed to create fertilizer and
but why they need a massive stone structure to
create
fertilizer? Right,
exactly.
Isn't it possible that things also had they built them and then someone used them later on for different purposes? Isn't that possible as well?
I think
so. Instead of it being built for that, like maybe they just used it for that eventually?
That's possible. Yeah. But it seems like the way he was describing the interior, though, of the Red Pyramid was like it was reverse engineered to actually create the chemical that they would have needed to enhance the agriculture of the area. Like they showed it. They actually created it in a lab with like using the chemical process. I think there was like some Nazi scientists involved in this, of course.
Of course. The recreation of it.
Yeah. And the recreation.
Well, Christopher Dunn stuff was all about them creating hydrogen, right?
Yeah.
That's what he felt like. The whole thing was generating hydrogen, and that's what he thought. The whole those columns that went down, those passages that went down, and then there was the porous limestone that was at the end that seeped through, and he believed that this was all like some sort of a chemical reaction that they had to doing this. Here, what is here, Jimmy?
Oh, the Red Pyramid was built as a power plant to produce ammonia from methane and nitrogen. That's what it was.
Fritz Haber won the Nobel Prize about a century ago. Yeah, the Haber process. Fritz Haber's a crazy story. Do you know that story?
No.
Okay. Fritz Haber, he devised a method of extracting nitrogen from the atmosphere. And he was winning a Nobel Prize at the same time in which he was being wanted for war crimes, because he also created Zyklon gas. So he created the gas that they were using to spray on the Allies. So they would get this gas and spray it with fans. This was the first time they'd ever done something like this before, use gas in warfare. And and he was a Jew, and he created Zyklon A, which was then converted to Zyklon B. So Zyklon A had a very disgusting smell to it, so you knew it was coming. And then Zyklon B they used during the Holocaust to gas the Jews. and it had no smell. So yeah. So I think it was initially made as a pesticide. I think that was the initial. Let me see what it says there. Oh, this is different.
Oh, this is.
We're not talking
this
about
is
Fritz
different.
Haber.
This is about how the Egypt thing would have been the same
Okay,
thing.
we'll get to that.
Yeah.
But the Fritz Haber thing, he was eventually exiled from Nazi Germany because he was Jewish. Like, they allowed him to stay initially in the beginning because he was so valuable, because he had done so much, and because he did create this gas that they were using to gas the Allies. And then, but imagine guys up for a Nobel Prize at the same time where he's wanted for war crimes. Yeah.
Yeah.
And because he was doing all this, his wife commits suicide. She shoots herself in the chest. He leaves her and his 13-year-old son to go to the front line while she's struggling for her life, like she's still alive. She eventually dies. He leaves her. It was the whole thing's horrific. And then he dies on the run. So he dies. I think he had a heart complication, which, duh. How much stress was that guy under, right? And then he leaves Nazi Germany when, the shit is going down. He's on the run, and he winds up dying on the run. I think he was dying on his way to try to seek medical care.
Yeah, bro. That, the story of what those fucking Nazis were doing is bananas.
It's insane.
You had Annie on here, and she talked
Yeah.
about what was going on when she tried to interview some of those guys that were still in Germany. I think she tried to interview, like, the grandson of one of the dudes that she wrote about. I can't remember his name right now. A dude with like a huge dueling scar on his face, and this guy like wanted nothing to do with his father or whatever. And she had these documents that she found when she went to Germany, and she was like, I guess she found a bunch of notes or whatever that he wrote to his son after he went to America with paperclip, and this was his grandson, I think.
Operation Paperclip, for people listening,
Yeah.
is they shipped over a bunch of the best Nazi scientists and brought them into NASA and some other departments at the end of the war.
And the grandson wanted nothing to do with his father. He like detested his father with every fiber of his being. And she was showing him the notes and like showing him like the humanity of the guy. The guy was torn between like being this scientist, contracted to do all this crazy shit for America, but he still loved his wife and son on the other hand. And he was so just torn apart by the fact that he had to leave them behind. And then she showed the dude the documents. And then Annie Jacobson freaking hightailed it out of there with all that secret Nazi shit, like didn't get caught. Which is incredible.
Well, it's just wild, the stuff they were working on. Like, how were they so advanced?
Mm-hmm.
And why were they so obsessed with the occult?
Yeah.
It's like all that Indiana Jones stuff, that was kind of legit. Like, they were really interested in the occult.
Mm.
Yeah.
Interdimensional aliens. What's Alex thinking about them?
Interdimensional child molesters. I haven't talked to him about that. We have talked about Operation Paperclip, but only in regards to, like, Werner von Braun. And, they were in, like, deep denial about that. But the Simon Wiesenthal Center said that if Werner von Braun was alive today, he would be prosecuted. He'd be prosecuted for crimes against humanity. Yeah, when he was running his rocket factory in Berlin, he would take the 5 slowest Jews and hang them from the front of the factory, so that as you're walking in, like, this is what happens if you move slowly. And that was the head of NASA, who supposedly got us to the moon.